Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Joan Snyder Arena here at Canada Olympic Park's Winsport for the 10th annual Rocky Mountain Classic Elite U15 action, and we have a dandy one here for you today. The A Championship Bracket Consolation Game, number 1, and it's going to feature Rink Kelowna, 3-0-1. They finished first in Rundle, taking on the St. Albert Sabres, who were 2-1-1 and second in the Sulphur division. We'll bring in the starting goaltenders right after we hear "O Canada." Excellent stuff. For a while there, I thought we were going to have to sing the national anthem like the World Junior team a long time ago. We got a great one here. Interesting game today. Some neat NHL connections in this contest. Sullivan Fogland of St. Albert, number 4, is the grandson of Lee Fogland, great Oiler, former captain, just went into Edmonton's Hall of Fame. You'll see number 12, Jackson Pisani, is the son of Fernando Pisani. And of course, you have Jerome McGinley coaching Rink Kelowna, and his son Joe, a superstar, number 13 on that team. We are underway. St. Albert in the dark blues, heading left to right. Rink Kelowna in the whites, going right to left. And right off the bat, Kelowna gets it out. Walker tries to send it up the boards. It's knocked into the St. Albert zone, and back forward is Jackson Pisani. He goes D to D, and now St. Albert sends it out, and they will chase after it. Taken over by Verhoef. He's been really good for Rink Kelowna in this one. Got one of my votes for the All-Star team. Smith with it for Kelowna, sends it up the boards. Taken away by Ruptash for St. Albert. Here come the Sabres. Ruptash knocked down, fires it on net, steered aside by the goaltenders. We'll get to the starting netminders in just a second. That one kept in and fired on net by Molenbeek. It doesn't get there, and Rink Kelowna was looking for the stretch pass to Iginla. It didn't go, and now St. Albert will have to come back on their own zone. Sinclair sends it around. It doesn't get all the way out. And now Ruptash will come over for it. He sends it off the glass, kept in by McCarthy. And again, now it gets out to the zone, and St. Albert's Ruptash has a man heading to the net. And they couldn't get the puck to Bison. And chasing after it is Walker. He sends it around the net, or Waltz rather. Gets out into the neutral zone. And the Sabres try and get it back in. That's Allen that sends it in, and Rink Kelowna will try and set this up. Pantelis sends it up the boards, and that is going to be our icing for our first whistle of the game. It'll give you a chance to tell you who's in net for Rink Kelowna. Calder Berry is the pipe man today, 2-0 record with a goals against average of 1. He has a shutout and a save percentage of .929 in this tournament. 4-0-1 on the season with a shutout. A goals against average of .234 and a save percentage of .892. There's a shot from Allen off the point, or off the face-off that doesn't get all the way through. And it is Kelowna's Sinclair, or rather Botel trying to get it out. Now it's McCarthy with it. Sends it up the boards. It's knocked down. Pantelis will go back for it. On his backhand, off the glass. Visser keeps it in. Nice job. Pantelis takes that shot up high. And he races over to try and get it out. Botel sends it behind the net to McCarthy. He reverses. But it's St. Albert that is doing a good job on the forecheck as they push for the puck in the offensive zone. Now they'll have to backpedal, as it's Salikov that carries this one in on his backhand. He scored a nice one the other day for Rink Kelowna, but it's St. Albert that'll carry it out. Fall sends it out into the neutral zone. Kelowna gathers, and they head back the other way. This is Shapitka. He can't get it on net, and the Sabres will push it up the sideboards. There's a man knocked down. And Iginla has it for Rink Kelowna behind the net. He's battled there by Carter. It is picked up by Kelowna. They try the short side shot. That was Fadoon that tried to put that one away, and it was stopped. Leonard can't keep it in. Oh, he does keep it in. Nice job kicking it up to his skate to get it down to Iginla behind the net. Two Sabres there fighting him for the puck, and it's Thorpe who sends it up the boards. Chipped by Lajoie. And the Sabres get it over the red line and dump it in. But that is going to be, they don't get over the red line, actually, or yeah, it is, and they're going to make the players come back out for the icing, as they did not get over the red line. So the faceoff will come back in the St. Albert zone. Rink Kelowna wins the draw. Leonard from the point lets it fly. That misses everybody. Bounces right out in front of the net, and Kai Zarowski had to jump on it. Zarowski 1-0. Goals against average of 1 and a save percentage of .966 in this tournament. 3-1, .279 GAA, .892 save percentage in the AAA Alberta League. St. Albert first in the North in the Alberta League, playing very well. They'll be certainly tested today. Here's Lajoie, drops it off, shot on net. That one was high and wide, and it comes all the way around, and Pisani's going to chase back after it in his own zone. He goes D to D, and now the cross-ice pass will pick up Mrs. Mounier, and Heidecker has it in his own zone. Heidecker goes D to D with Verhoff, intercepted, chance for St. Albert. Thorpe throws it to the net. The backhand missed it. Minier picks it up and tries to get it back to the point, but that's taken away by Kelowna Smith now. Up the left side, trying to get around Visser. Good job by Visser to throw him off to the boards and angle him away. And an opportunity to get it out for the Sabres. Thorpe will chase after it. Verhoff is there. He gets to it first and sends it up ice. That's going to be offside. No, it's not offside. It's going to be a penalty against St. Albert, as we will see our first call as an interference penalty. That will send Rink Kelowna to the power play. So this St. Albert PK, 93.5% in league play, will be tested here against a really good Rink power play. 25% they are in league play, but it's St. Albert that wins the draw and gets it out right away and down the ice. So Kelowna will set up, as mentioned, clicking 25% of the time in the Canadian Sports School Hockey League. This is Gillespie ripping up the ice. This is an offer again, shot on net, and Zarowski takes that in the breadbasket and holds on for the face-off. Kelowna sends out Gillespie, Iginla, Smith, Verhoff. And off the faceoff, Gillespie wins it. They get it back to Verhoff, to Iginla. Goes back to Verhoff, over to Gillespie. And they work it back to the high point to Verhoff. Down to Iginla, centers it, nobody there. Now they throw it back in front of the net. It goes off the netting and out of play. St. Albert will make a change. And they will send out Luke Ruptash to take this face-off against Gillespie. Foglin out there on the blue line as well. And it's Kelowna, Verhoff that gets control off the face-off. Spins it in, still has it now, walks in. His shot gets deflected and up into the rafters and out of play, and that will be a face-off to the right of Zarowski. Kelowna beat North Shore Warriors 9-0. They beat the Buffaloes 5-2. Yale 3-2, and then losing to the Airdrie Extreme 4-3. Airdrie, huge upset of NAX today. So it'll be Edge and Airdrie in the final tomorrow, 11:45. Dave Dawson, Peter Labardius have the call right here on hnlive.ca. Massive announcement during that game that you won't want to miss. This is Verhoff carrying it up, almost loses it, tries to get around the D, and he does, and the puck is underneath the goaltender, and Zarowski didn't know where it was. Thankfully, none of the Kelowna players did for his sake either. Now we have 50 seconds left in this man advantage for Rink Kelowna. It'll be Gavin Fall taking the draw against Kieran Fadoon. Fadoon wins it. Heidecker. Sit back to McCarthy. McCarthy looks down low for Botel. Botel gets it down low for Waltz. Back to McCarthy. To Botel on the sideboards. He's hassled there, spins away, gets it down low. Now it's centered for Fadoon, but that was intercepted, and the Sabres will send it off the glass and out down the ice. 19 seconds to go in this man advantage. McCarthy starts up, spins around, trying to get away from Meunier. He dishes it in, and it's an opportunity for St. Albert's Riley Thorpe. Oh, but Barry comes out to play the puck nicely and does a good job of deking around Thorpe. And now it's St. Albert, who are even now after killing off the penalty. They're on the attack in the zone. Fadoon picks it up, though, and it's centered. Thorpe centers it, or rather, it was centered for Thorpe by Meunier, but now it's Lajoie chasing after it for St. Albert. McCarthy knocked over, but he was able to get the puck to his teammate Botel. Sends it up to Fadoon, it bounces in. Walker in after it, but he'll peel off. This is going to give Molenbeek some time to get it out for St. Albert. They start the breakout. Thorpe sends it in. Meunier will chase after it. He has Lajoie with him, but Kelowna will send it around and out the zone. Molenbeek has to chase back for it now. He will get there, but pressured from Kelowna in front, and Iginla had that shot blocked. Leonard now sends it down low. Iginla puts it behind the net. They try to get it back to him. Salikov was in front, and it is St. Albert that can't get it out. It's kept in, but just momentarily. Now Colt Carter sends it out, and it's sent right back in. Zarowski leaves it for his defenseman around the boards to Lajoie. Now it's out into the neutral zone. Leonard smacks it back in. It was knocked down and carried out by Molenbeek. He flips it in. And he's going to peel off for a change. Leonard back for it for Kelowna. Sabres will keep it in at the blue line. Pisani overskated it, and Gillespie sends it up the ice. That's going to go for an icing against Kelowna. As we have reached past the 12-minute mark of this opening period. Still waiting for the game's first goal. This has been a fast-paced game for sure between St. Albert and Rink Kelowna. Gavin Fall taking the draw against Gillespie. Gillespie pushes it ahead, but Carter had it. Now Smith takes over for Kelowna. Smith and Gillespie, 2-on-3. Botel is the trailer, and Carter has it behind the net for St. Albert. Intercepted by Heidecker. He knocks that clearing attempt into the zone. Back to Heidecker now, sends it on net, tipped, and they score! Smith, like dinner in a great restaurant with a beauty tip, and right now, Rink Kelowna grabs the 1-0 lead. No chance for Zarowski. Just about to the midway point. And it is 1-0 Rink Kelowna. The goal from Smith. And back comes Kelowna now. They center it, looking for Walker. He couldn't tap it in. Heidecker, who will certainly get an assist as he had the point shot. And play will be whistled down on the St. Albert penalty. That is Luke Ruptash heading off. So Rink Kelowna gets another chance with the man advantage. So off the faceoff, it is Heidecker. Gets it back to McCarthy. They work it down low. Walker had it roll off his stick. He gets control and sends it down to Fadoon. Fadoon with it. Sends it in front, and they were looking for Heidecker, who was down low, and we get a whistle. Net is off, and they will sort that out. So off the face-off now. Kelowna trying to jam it in the side. Fadoon gets knocked down as he was trying to knock that one in the net. McCarthy does a good job of knocking that one down, gets it across to Heidecker. And now Rink Kelowna's Walker almost in behind the D. He was spun around and knocked down. Salikov shoves off his man as he goes to get the puck, and Walker battling for it. McCarthy keeps it in for Kelowna. Walks to the middle, sends it down low. And Fadoon tried to redirect that one towards the net. It's behind the net now, and coming out in front was Heidecker as he's down low, the D-man. McCarthy, the only D-man back now, and he's not going to be able to race over and keep that one in. A minute to go in the power play. Here comes McCarthy. Might have some room to wheel in. Carries it in behind the net. Back to the blue line. Iginla has it. He was covering. Sends it back to McCarthy, but he was off for a change. And now Verhoff with it to Gillespie. Tried the one-touch pass to Iginla, and it didn't work. And Verhoff has to go back in his own end. Waltz picks it up for Rink Kelowna. 36 seconds in the man advantage. St. Albert turns Kelowna back, and Verhoff, the captain, will start the breakout again. Stops up behind his own net and settles things down. 25 seconds to go in the man advantage. Lead pass for Iginla. Now they hit Gillespie, and it's back to Iginla in the high slot area. Has it Liz stick lifted. Nice job there by St. Albert's Mounier. And now Mounier has it with Lajoie going to the net. That puck tipped by Calderberry up into the netting. And we will get a face-off that will come inside the Kelowna zone. Under 9 minutes to play in this first period. Smith with the lone goal so far, deflection. At the 11:29 mark. St. Albert wins that draw so cleanly it was won by Gavin Fall. It goes all the way back into their own zone. Weiser has to run after it, and he finally gets there first and sends it over to Foglin. Up the middle, intercepted by Gillespie. And Gillespie has a Smith at the net, and he couldn't put away the rebound. St. Albert's fall doesn't get over the line again. And once again, St. Albert is charged with an icing as they don't get the puck across the line. Faceoff will come back inside their zone. St. Albert opened up with a 6-1 win over Okanagan, 8-1 over the Royals. They lost to Nax, who was upset. That was in a shootout, and then they beat Airdrie 3-1. Or rather, lost to Airdrie 3-1, and so Airdrie is now in the final. One of these victories over St. Albert. That's going to come outside now. Both these teams plus in the goal differential. Rink Kelowna plus 12, St. Albert plus 9. And both of them very, very great, very, very good regular seasons so far. And this tournament will help them build even more confidence. Here's Ruptash for St. Albert. And that is followed up on the play by Domshi. He sends it in behind the boards. Oh, collision in behind the boards. Two big bodies coming together. Domshi can't keep it in at the blue line. And Kelowna sends it back up to Botel. He rips it in, heads off on a change. And the Sabres start back the other way. Ruptash fans on the pass. Bisson tips it to him, and Ruptash skates in with Domsey. Now he gets it back to Ruptash on the backhand, sends it to the net, and Barry holds on for the faceoff. Face-off to Barry's right. Thorpe will take it for St. Albert. It's into the corner now. Pantelis sends it off the glass. Fadoun knocked it down. And the Sabres will try and get it back in. Waltz to Iginla. To Fadoun now. Now Fadoun has Iginla heading to the net. Sends it to him in front, but it went under his stick. The Sabres start back. Long pass off of meant for Mounier. He couldn't catch up to it, but the Sabres do have control now until Smith knocks it out into the neutral zone. Here's Iginla. Penalty coming up to St. Albert. I'm going to get a slashing call, and the evidence is right in front of us in the form of a broken stick. And it is Matthew Lajoie who's going off for the slashing call. Second power play for Rink Kelowna. 25% on the power play in the regular season. And we'll see another St. Albert PK unit that is excellent. 93.5%, first in Alberta. Kelowna gets possession off the draw. This is McCarthy, loses it, but pokes it over to Heidecker. He's gonna walk in. His shot was deflected and up into the netting. Rare miscue from Owen McCarthy. He has been absolutely excellent for Rink Kelowna. Steady Eddie, as I'd imagine he is most of the year. And Heidecker gets it now. Over to McCarthy. Back to Heidecker. He was hit hard as he released that pass. Botel gets it down low. This is Walker back to McCarthy. Back down to Walker. The pass to Heidecker, back door. And the stop was made by Zarowski. That was a nice play that nobody noticed. Heidecker slipping in on the back door. Tricky little defenseman doing a nice job there. So the faceoff will be to Zarowski's right. It'll be Smith taking it for Rink Kelowna. And it's St. Albert's Pisani who rings it around the boards. And the fanning on the clearing attempt there, unfortunately from Carter. And McCarthy keeps that one in. Now it's sent deep into the St. Albert zone. Covered up by Zarowski as the puck popped out into the crease area. And he holds on for the faceoff. Rink Kelowna will make a full change. Aginla will come out with Gillespie. And it looks like Walker. And you got Verhoff on the one blue line and Pantelis out there as well. Aginla drops it off for Verhoff. Verhoff in for Gillespie. Tries to get it in behind the net. And Pantelis has it now in behind the net. Big 74 out to Aginla with a shot. And Zarowski makes a good stop there. Aginla with it. Back to Verhoff. Over to Gillespie on the sideboards. They send it down low. This is Pantelis with it, or Walker rather. Now Verhoff over to Aginla, down to Pantelis. And Pantelis has it to Aginla. Quick pass to him. He has it knocked off his stick, gets it back. Tries to spin towards the net. And Aginla wraparound try. And it doesn't go. Now Pisani sends it up the boards. Verhoff at the blue line. Tries to send it back down, and it is kept in. Pantelis over to Aginla. He winds and fires, and that one hit Walker in front. And it's going to give St. Albert a chance to clear this one down and get a change. Power play just about over. Kelowna 0 for 2 with the man advantage. And this is Smith going for a skate. Teams are at even strength. Smith still has it, or that's Verhoff rather. Down low, comes out now to Fadoon at the point, scores! Picks the top corner blocker side through a maze of bodies. And Kieran Fadoon makes it a 2-0 game for Kelowna. Almost like those seeing eye singles that you see in baseball. That one worked its way through everybody. And Kelowna leads 2-0. Face off on the offside. So Fadoon picks up the goal for Kelowna. That's his first goal and first point of the tournament. And we're going to get another power play here. This time it will be an opportunity for the Sabres as Leonard is off for Kelowna. And this will be St. Albert's second power play. Their first power play, 33.3% with the man advantage. And there's an opportunity for St. Albert to keep the puck in. They pin it up against the boards. Heidecker trying to work it there for Kelowna and St. Albert. They send it in front for Pisani, who was pinching down low, and it was just out of his reach. Hammered down the ice by Kelowna. Thorpe has Fadoon right on him, the goal scorer. It's sent in behind the net for Carter. Up the boards to Thorpe. Rink wide for Lajoie. He carries it in over the blue line. Stops up in the sideboards. It's back. Pisani keeps it in. Nice job off the skate there. He sends it over to Thorpe. Shot in, was stopped, or that was Molenbeek rather with the shot. And now Lajoie can't keep it in. He has to go back into the neutral zone, set it up, has it knocked off his stick. And Molenbeek carries it in for St. Albert. Lajoie will head off on a change. And this is picked up by Kelowna, but it's intercepted, and St. Albert goes on the attack. They will set this one up, foul with it. Looking for Sinclair at the point. Sinclair's shot is blocked by Smith, goes to the sideboards. Fall chases after it, and now Mounier has it for St. Albert. Still with it, down for Fall. A give and go backhand, Fall shot. And Calder-Berry makes the save, short side. They push and shove, and now it's back to the point to Sinclair. And that pass was tipped by Iginla and out of play. .249 to go. 13 seconds in the man advantage to Kelowna. They'll do that one again. Off the face-off, the Sabres have control. Dying seconds of this power play. And now teams are even strength. Fogland sends it down low. There's a shot that is blocked at the blue line from Ruptash, and Fogland goes back for it. Gives it to Weiser. And Fogland will head back in his own end, and he'll go in behind the net. Walker, pressuring for Rink Kelowna, picks up the puck. And now it is sent back in behind the net. Salikov spins away from Fogland, sends it out in front. Nice job there by Zarowski to knock it away. And the Sabres can't get it out. This is Iginla on the backhand, scores! What a move! Forehand, backhand, in. As Joe Iginla adds to the lead. He has 5 goals now in the tournament. And that one was a nifty one. Forehand, backhand, and in. Tough for Zarowski when there's that many moves going on. So 3-0 Kelowna. As we are under 2 minutes to play in this opening period. Verhoff sends it in for Iginla. Now has 5 in the tournament. And now it's Pantelis from the point. Kicked out nicely there by Zarowski. Big shot from Verhoff. Gets deflected wide. Pantelis keeps it in at the blue line. Bit of a shooting gallery here for Kelowna. Gillespie sends it in front. It's knocked around. Back to Verhoff, and he's going to walk in. His shot is deflected into the corner. St. Albert just wants to get it out at any cost. And they can't. Kept in again. Fadoon gives it to Verhoff. Verhoff sends it in down into the slot area, and they score again. Joe Iginla with another nifty move in front. Silky smooth hands, and it's 4-0. Back-to-back goals for Iginla, now 6 in the tournament. And it's tough to leave a guy like that as wide open as he was. And so we are under a minute to play here in this first period. Offside, Kelowna. So this face-off will come just outside of the St. Albert blue line. Sabres likely just wanting to get to the intermission, regroup, and come out. They're a skilled hockey team, and I don't want to say a 4-0 deficit is too much for them to handle. We'll see what happens the rest of this period and the rest of this game and what goes on with the Sabres. This is McCarthy with it for Rink Kelowna. Tried to hit Smith with the pass, and that's sent the other way for St. Albert. Meunier busting in, scores! Ty Meunier slips it 5-hole on the rush, and I told you, St. Albert is not going to go quietly, as they are now on the board, down 4-1. And Meunier has been clutch for this St. Albert team all season and all tournament. That's his third of the tournament. And the first for St. Albert in this contest. Late stages of this first period, but the Sabres have to feel good about that one. Getting on the board, Leonard keeps it in for Kelowna. And an opportunity late, Zarowski makes a key save. Time runs out in this entertaining opening period. Rink Kelowna opening up a 4-goal lead. Goals from Smith, Fadoon, and a pair from McGinley. Mounier replying for St. Albert. 4-1, Rink Kelowna leading it. We will be back with second period. Just getting set for second period action here in the Jones Snyder Arena, Canada Olympic Park, for the 10th annual Rocky Mountain Classic. This is a good one so far between St. Albert in the dark jerseys and Rink Kelowna in the light jerseys, and we are underway in the second period. St. Albert scored late in that period to try to give them some life as they were down 4-0 at one point. 2 goals from Joe Aginla in this contest for Rink Kelowna. He has 6 on the tournament now. And there's St. Albert with an early chance as Barry is sprawled out, but he has it underneath him, and he holds on for the faceoff. Good chance early on for the Sabres. As Mounier scored late in that first period to get them on the board, and now we're going to have coincidental minors. Gillespie will take the draw for Kelowna. It'll be Fall in there for St. Albert. And we're going to well, it says there's a penalty on the board, but there's 5-on-5 out there right now, so. So there we go. Now we got it sorted out. And after all of that, Fall gets kicked out of the faceoff. And the puck is down. And it is Rink Kelowna that will carry it out. And over the line, Gillespie with a hot shot right on net. And goaltender for St. Albert, Kai Zarowski, holds on. He's 3-1 in league play, .279 goals against average. Perfect here at this tournament with a 1-0 record, goals against average of 1, and a save percentage of .966 in his second game action. Joe Aginla will take this draw up against Domshi. Aginla wins it forward, looking for the hat trick, and they score. It's Gillespie that taps it in. Beautiful setup by Joe Aginla to pick up his third point of the game. And Gillespie has the goal. It is 5-1 Kelowna. Aginla pushing that forward and then sliding it towards the net. He'll get the only assist. And not much chance for the goaltender Zarowski, because you have to watch for Aginla going top short side shelf in that situation. So off the faceoff now, 5-1 Kelowna. Verhoff for Rink Kelowna, back to Pantelis. He gets it back to Verhoff, the captain, who sends it up the boards. Gillespie tips it for Aginla. He skated past it, and now Foglin takes over. Off the glass, kept in by Gillespie. Pantelis pokes it forward, and now St. Albert gets control. Owlin tries to send that one in, but it's taken over by Pantelis, and now it's Salikov. Fighting with Foglin there along the boards. Now it's in behind the net. Foglin battling for it again. Puck comes out to the front of the net, and Gillespie tried to put the backhand away, and now Zarowski pounces on it to make the save. Gillespie bidding for his second of the game. Nice job by the goaltender. Gillespie now has 2 in the tournament. 2 goals, 3 assists. And we'll see Smith take the draw here for Kelowna. But it's St. Albert's captain that wins the draw, Thorpe. And now they will get it out. Thorpe, it just jumped over his stick, and that's going to be an icing against St. Albert. Or Thorpe might have been away on the break-in, so the puck will come back inside the St. Albert zone. And we'll see Smith line up for the draw for Rink Kelowna. And once again, Thorpe, the captain, will take it for St. Albert. Won the last one cleanly. Now he gets kicked out of the faceoff. So now Meunier comes in to take it. And he wins it. Nice job winning it on the backhand. Off the glass. Ruptash has it now. Sends it up looking for Thorpe. That was taken away. And Salikov, the big man down the right side, rips the shot. Zarowski makes the blocker save. Heidecker steps into one. Rattles it off the glass. Heidecker keeps it in, slaps it wide of the net. Walker chases after it now, kicks it up into the behind the net. Carter takes a hit, and now it's sent around. Thorpe will chase after it. Thorpe sends it back behind his net to Carter. Nice smart move there as all the pressure was on the left side. And here it is to Thorpe now. As Meunier drops it off. Shot off the crossbar and out. Wow, what a rocket of a shot that was. But beat the goalie, not the bar. Kelowna coming back the other way, trying to get back the lead that they had. Fadoon. And it's kept in at the blue line by Shapitka. Sends it back in, and they will chase after it now. Collision on the sideboards, and that's going to give Thorpe a chance to skate this one out. He's been out there for quite a while, but here he goes for a skate. Thorpe is going to head off for a change, as is Ruptash, so the only forechecker there is Domshi. And that gives Kelowna a chance to get the puck out. McGinley knocks it down. They overskate it, and it comes out to the neutral zone. Walker sends it in. Now McGinley tries to poke it forward. It is taken away by Molenbeek. Sends it up for Fall. He's going to chase after it, but Verhoff takes over for Rink Kelowna. Puck ends up in the skates of the official. It's going to now Domshi a chance to get towards the net. Shot goes wide. Ginla sends it up the boards, and the puck is out into the neutral zone. Fall has it knocked down. This is Smith breaking in. Smith with a stop by Zarowski. Close chance there for Cade Smith on the partial breakaway. But the goaltender comes up big to keep this one a 5-1 game. Gillespie will take the draw against Lajoie. Gillespie wins it forward. Couldn't get it to the net. And he sends it over the corner. Racing after it, sending it back to the point. Now it's Heidecker with a shot. And Walker with it in the corner. Backhands it towards the net. Now this is Smith with it behind the net. He sends it back to Pantelis. Pantelis sends it towards the net, and that one was blocked, and St. Albert comes back the other way. Possible breakaway, and nice job by Heidecker to get back and tip that one, or else the man would have been sent in. That was Chuckery who was going in. Here's Waltz. Cuts to the side and doesn't get the shot away. Now he sends it in front. Gillespie picks it up for Kelowna. Gets it back to Verhoff at the point. He knocks it into the corner where Smith has it. Smith pushed up against the boards by Carter. Comes back to Verhoff. Goes D to Leonard. Leonard sends it down into the corner. Oh, big hit in behind the net. Oh, but the Gillespie was knocked down. Gets right back up, and there's the Michigan try from Smith. To Waltz in front, the wraparound. Gillespie has it. And now it's sent back to Verhoff at the point. Verhoff's shot is blocked and goes all the way down the ice. Won't be an icing. Out to play it is Calderberry. Sets it up for Verhoff. He has some time and a little bit of space to go for a skate if he wants to. Walker will tip it. Now it gets knocked back into the Rink Kelowna zone. Leonard Sends it around the boards. It'll be tipped out. No, not. It is tipped out, and St. Albert will have to tag up. Meunier will come back in on the forecheck with Lajoie. Lajoie loses an edge, but Thorpe picks up the puck, and he loses it. Walker back the other way for Kelowna. Has Salikov heading to the net. Back to Botel. He tried to take the shot, but was knocked to the ice. Racing around to try and keep that in was Shapitka. He can't, and it's gone all the way back into his own zone. Lajoie in on the forecheck. Knocks Shapitka into the boards. Puck comes down to Heidecker. He's knocked down. St. Albert getting a little bit physical in this one. And Kelowna will start back the other way. This is Joe Aginla looking for the hat trick. Aginla has Fadoon in front. Stops the other way on the backhand. Sends it out front. And Fadoon couldn't knock it in. Aginla back to the point. Shapitka pinches down. Can't do it. This is an opportunity for a 2-on-1. Meunier and Bisson for St. Albert. Out to Bisson. And he can't get a handle on it. Meunier comes out from behind the net. And Barry makes the nice stop there in tight. As St. Albert putting on a little bit of pressure here. As we have 13 minutes and 26 seconds remaining in this second period. 5-1, Rink Kelowna leading. St. Albert with their best push of the game here. Fall kicked out of the faceoff. And so Gillespie will now take the draw against Domshi. And that one is sent out of play. So they will do it all again. To the left of Calderberry. Fall will step back in for the draw against Gillespie. And again, he gets kicked out. So Bisson comes in to take it. And he loses the draw. Verhoff sends it around the boards. He was hassled there. Waltz coming back for it. Foglin keeps it in. Fall sent it towards the net, and that was knocked away. And now Kelowna can't get it out. Kept in at the blue line by Bisson. He fans on the shot. Fall trying to get it. Bisson sends it towards the net. And Verhoff, the captain, sends it off the boards and out into the neutral zone. Waltz sends it on net. That is covered up by the goaltender and held on for the whistle. 12:53 remaining in this second period. Rink Kelowna leading 5-1. Smith opened the scoring. Fadoon followed that up, and then two from Aginla before Meunier scored for St. Albert. That was the first period alone, and Gillespie has added one here in the second. 5-1, Kelowna leading the St. Albert Sabres. Puck is down, and Zarowski swats that one behind the net. The wraparound try. Here is Salikov now coming out for the backhand, and he sends that one wide. This is Botel. Can't get the shot off. And Carter will skate it out for St. Albert. Rink wide pass for Ruptash. He loses the puck in the corner. And this is Leonard with a head of steam. Carter takes over for St. Albert to Ruptash. Has Allen and Thorpe with them. And now we're going to get a penalty coming up against St. Albert. It's going to be Ruptash that is going off for the contact to the head. Two minutes. So we'll see this excellent Rink power play go to work again, although they're 0 for 3 in this game. You certainly have the talent, though. Kelowna gets the puck off the draw. Pantelis back to Aginla at the point. Verhoff keeps it in. And Gillespie now plays the left side on the half boards. Walks in, shot deflected. Gillespie picks it up. Plays it back to Aginla on the half boards. Aginla brings it down low behind the net. Spins out in front. He's got two already, and that one comes out into the neutral zone, and Verhoff will pick it up and backpedal into his own zone. Sends it up to Aginla, rolls off his stick, in behind. Zarowski goes out to play it. And Weiser trying to get it out for St. Albert. It is kept in at the blue line by Verhoff. And he does a great job of keeping that one in, using the big body to tie it up. And now Kelowna will just chip it off the boards. And now it's an opportunity. Meunier, if he can catch up the puck. Barry comes out to play it wisely, sends it over. There's a shot from Thorpe from the blue line, trying to catch the goalie out of the net. And it's an opportunity for Kelowna to get this out. They do. Fadoon carries it over the blue line, drops it back. They get it over to a Ginlet, goes off his skate. And Waltz sends it into the corner. Fadoon takes a hard hit into the boards. No call there. And there's a big hit in behind the net from Rink Kelowna. And the Kelowna player is getting the penalty, and he took the worst of it. That was Waltz. And he's going to get, I believe, a charging penalty. It is a charge. So Waltz went in to lay the hit, and he actually took the brunt of it. He's going to actually head off to get some attention, and somebody else will have to come in and serve the penalty. They'll get the attention, all sorted out. So we'll have 4-on-4 for 35 seconds. And then it will be St. Albert on their second power play of the game, or third power play of the game. Clicking at 33.3% in the Alberta AAA League. Lajoie will come in to take the face-off, or actually now Kelowna. Sinclair down low, and now it is Rink Kelowna's Leonard. Can't get that one out. They will regroup behind their own net. We're playing 4-on-4 here. Gillespie back for Kelowna. As Heidecker picks it up and wheels out. Heidecker across the blue line has Smith going to the net. Has Gillespie in the high slot, and Leonard back at the point. And that one was almost intercepted by St. Albert. And now St. Albert is on the power play. Heidecker overskates it. And this is going to give the Sabres an opportunity to break it out. Fall misses it. Thorpe is going to race after it. Thorpe is coming on net, and he rips that one off the crossbar. That's the second time he's hit the bar. St. Albert setting it up now. Meunier sends it towards the net, almost gets it back. And Leonard still without a stick, kicks it up the board. Smith will try and get there. He pokes it out into the neutral zone, and that should give Leonard a chance to get off the ice. It does, but it's an opportunity now. Meunier for St. Albert, and he scores! Short side shelf. What a beauty. He's got two in the contest. And there is some life now in this contest from St. Albert. Some pushing and shoving after this one as these two teams have some words. Albert, Source for Sports, assistant coach on this team. All right, so looks like we're back to square one here, 5-on-5, 5-2, St. Albert on the board. And they push and shove just below us. Sabres get it out. Shapitka back for it, goes D-to-D with McCarthy. And that is intercepted. St. Albert's gonna be offside as they touch the puck inside the blue line. So I have no idea what all that discussion, all of that, the goal, the pushing, the shoving, all of the taunting resulted in absolutely nothing as we play 5-on-5. Just some stern warnings, maybe. They tie it up off the face-off. Iginla pokes it back into the Rink Kelowna zone. Salikov backhands it up. That's Pisani, who has it now for St. Albert. Has it poked off his stick by Salikov, and he takes Pisani into the boards. Now Iginla has it, dangles around the D-man, sends it towards the net, and Botel couldn't poke that home. Sabres back the other way, sent in behind the net. Barry can't stop. Oh no, he does a great job of stopping it. Then he runs a little interference, like every good goalie should do. Big hit along the sideboards. Sabres keep it in, and chasing after it now is Lajoie. Botel loses it to Fall. Fall rips it off the glass. And picking it up in behind the net now is Allen. That pass to the blue line goes all the way back to the St. Albert net. And it's shoved up by the Sabres. And that was Ruptash that was looking for the breakaway pass, but Verhoff was there. And there's going to be a penalty coming up to Ruptash now. Trip on Verhoff as the goalie is on for the extra attacker. There's Botel with a high shot off the glass. Verhoff keeps it in. He's going to walk in, sends it to the corner. Now they get it back to Verhoff as he walks in off the blue line. Spins away. It's it back to Botel at the point, to Pantelis on the right side. Down low to Walker, back to Pantelis. And they go to Verhoff. It's been a long 6-on-5 here for Rink Kelowna. Back behind the net. They still have possession. Walker had it poked off his stick, but Pantelis gets it. And now Smith. And finally, St. Albert will touch that puck. And they will be shorthanded. Chirping continues between these two teams as Calder Barry pointing at the scoreboard for Rink Kelowna. And Meunier's heading off. He's got both goals for St. Albert. This will be Kelowna's fourth power play, 0 for 3 so far. The one thing that maybe hasn't clicked for them in this tournament has been their power play in the contest that I've seen anyway. So Verhoff needs to relay something to the coaching staff, and we're ready to go now. Verhoff gets it off the draw, over to Iginla. Iginla spins back to Verhoff, one-timer. Zarowski makes the stop and then holds on nicely for the faceoff. Joe Iginla bidding for the hat-trick. He has 6 in the tournament so far, plus an assist in this game. So I believe he's taken a team lead in scoring over Ganda. Here's Iginla now working the point. And they play give and go. Iginla comes down low, looks back to Verhoff. And the big blue liner walks to the middle, gives it to Iginla. They send it into Pantelis. Iginla gets it back, the shot just wide, or else he would have had 3. That one missed barely on the short side. Verhoff keeps it in. They battle for it along the sideboard. St. Albert trying to push it out into the neutral zone. There are 3 Rink Kelowna players there, and Smith comes out with it. Now he's battling with Carter. Carter comes away with it, puts it off the boards and out to the neutral zone, and St. Albert will get a quick change, or they won't be able to get a quick change. Verhoff comes in. One player was able to get off that didn't have a stick. Iginla fans on the one-timer, but it comes right to Kelowna. Oh, what a save there by Zarowski on the rebound. Clutch goaltending from St. Albert. Kelowna winding that up again. Waltz gives it off to Botel. He crosses the line. Back to the blue line, and that one slides out into the neutral zone, and Heidecker will come back for it. The penalty was a double minor, so 2 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in this penalty. Sabres on the forecheck as Barry is out to play it, and he gets a little bit fortunate. Kelowna sends it out. Waltz tips it off for Boatwell. He has Walker going in the net. Botel shot off the blocker, and Zarowski makes the stop, and the rebound was cleared out of the way. Great goaltending from Kai Zarowski, especially on those 2-on-1s with such a talented team. You just never know if it's going to be a shot or a pass. And Kelowna, nice job to get out of the zone. This is Gillespie, has Iginla. Drops for Iginla, and the shot was blocked by Foglin and into the corner. Pantelis goes D to D for Iginla. Spins back, settles it down. As Verhoff goes down low to Gillespie. Into Pantelis, back to Gillespie now. Sends it to Pantelis, back to Verhoff. He's gonna walk in and rip it, but he rips it wide. Pantelis there with a shot, and the net comes off, and we will get a stoppage in play. Really good looking power play. Now, Rink Kelowna hasn't connected on the power play. This is the best in the 2 games that I've seen them that their power play has looked, as they're really whipping the puck around nicely. 25% power play in the regular season, 96.3 PK. Both of these teams excellent on special teams. The St. Albert power play, 33.3%. And their PK at 93. They always say you want to be above 110 when you combine your PK and your power play. Well, mission accomplished for both of these teams. Face off, Kelowna gets control. Verhoff sends it to the sideboards. Pantelis sends it in behind him on the net. Smith picks it up. It's it back to Iginla. To Verhoff, nice move to get around Thorpe. It's down to Gillespie. Gillespie back to Verhoff, quickly over to Iginla, has some space to walk in. Iginla has it knocked off his stick by Thorpe, still has it behind the net. Oh, is he gonna do the look? Oh, he was teeing it up. And there's Verhoff's blast, broke his stick. Zarowski makes a great blocker save on Smith in tight, as that one had Smith all alone. And Zarowski continues his excellent play here in this one. That one hit the broken stick of Verhoff after his blast shattered the stick, and Walker can't keep that one in. 20 seconds to go and the man advantage. McCarthy does a nice job of buying some time there as the forecheck from Chuckery. And now McCarthy sends it back to Walker. Head of speed down the left side. Sends it back to the blue line. Heidecker lets it go off the crossbar. That one was flush on the bar because it came way out to the top of the circles. St. Albert has killed off both power plays with a double minor. And Rink Kelowna still battling in there. And they come out with it. Fadoon back to Heidecker. He rips the shot. He has ripped a few of them today. And there's another blast from Heidecker, and it goes wide. McCarthy keeps it in. Nice job. Fast hands to keep that one in backhand to forehand. And now he sends it down in the zone again. Back to grab it for St. Albert is Sinclair. And McCarthy can't keep that one in. Mounier battling him, and that's going to be an offside against Kelowna. Just over 2.5 to play, or just about over 2:40 to play in this one. And we will see Fall take the draw here against Botel, right in front of our broadcast position. St. Albert wins it. Foglin goes D to D with Weiser, he goes off the boards, and Bisson picks it up. Over the blue line, sends it towards the net. Barrie just going to hold on for a face-off. As they come together in front of the Rink Kelowna net, as they have quite a bit in this contest. I think Calder Barrie is doing a pretty good job of stoking the fire in between the whistles. A couple of times he was skating back to that, pointing up to the scoreboard, chirping at the St. Albert bench. Makes me think of my younger days as a goaltender. But letting in a lot more goals while still chirping. Like Kevin Costner said, be cocky and arrogant even when you're losing. All right, here's Cage Smith. Has Botel going to the net. That one was played nicely by Weiser as he knocked it away. And Walker behind the net. Can't corral it. St. Albert, long breakaway pass for Meunier. He's got a pair today. Smith brings it in for Kelowna. Pokes it past Foglin to the corner. Throws it in front of the net, but nobody there. Leonard races over and can't keep it in. And now Leonard goes to Pantelis. D-to-D up the boards to Walker, or Waltz rather. And now Leonard carries it in. Shot on net, blocked by Zarowski, and he holds on for the faceoff. .142 remaining in this second period. 5-2 Rink Kelowna. This is the A championship bracket consolation game. Of course, we have every game from this tournament, including tomorrow's gold medal game, 11:45. Dave Dawson, Peter Labardius. Huge announcement from HN Live during that game. So not only will you want to watch Airdrie versus Edge, but you'll also want to find out what our big announcement is. Rink Kelowna wins that draw, comes in between Pantelis and Verhoff, so both of them have to head back in their own zone. Minute 30 remaining in this second period. And here's Iginla streaking in. Has a man going to the net, Fadoon. Iginla still has it. He sends it to the net. His stick was knocked just as he was going to let that one go and didn't get all of it. That is flipped out into the neutral zone, and chasing after it now is Ruptash. Has Bisson going to the net, but Pantelis gets back in time to send it around the boards, and that's going to go for an icing. No, it's no icing. They wave it off. Pisani and Iginla, the NHL connection, going back for it. Makes me think of the Battle of Alberta. And Ruptash gets that one out. All the way down, of course, Fernando Pisani. Whale of a playoff in 2006, 14 goals. And we all know in this city what Jerome Iginla did. Here's Smith coming in, puts that one over the net on the short side. As we are approaching the 30-second mark of this first period, Verhoff keeps it in. That one was stopped before it gets to the net. And Thorpe couldn't get it out, or rather, Molenbeek. Domsky pushing along the boards. Molenbeek there as well as Fall. Verhoff keeps it in, sends it into the sideboards. It's centered, and Smith was knocked off the puck. Molenbeek behind the net. Can't get it away from Salikov. Now the big Salikov has it behind the net on his backhand, goes to his forehand, reverses, gets knocked down, still gets it to his teammate. Chasing after it is Smith. He's run hard into the boards by Molenbeek at the end of the period, and those guys go down battling. Sinclair is pushing and shoving with Salikov, but it was at the buzzer, hard hit into the sideboards, and we'll see what these two teams have left in the third period. No love lost between these two. Oh, and Barrie goes down. And I think Barrie would probably win an Academy Award for that performance, and the St. Albert bench is giving it to him a little bit. He went down like somebody slew-footed him. It was quite entertaining, but I love it. I love the goaltender getting involved. This is great action. We'll see what happens in the third period as Rink Kelowna leading 5-2 after 40 minutes of play. We have the final period in this A-side consolation matchup coming up very shortly here on hnlive.ca. In the meantime, we will say thank you very much to our amazing sponsors, including the Sandman Inn downtown, Rocky Mountain Classic, St. Albert in dark, Rink Kelowna in white, and Kelowna leading 5-2 as we start this third period, and they are on the power play. At the end of the period, there was penalties handed out. There's a shot from Verhoff, and it's corralled by the goaltender, Zarowski, who has been excellent in this game despite the 5-2 score. Off the faceoff, Verhoff, the captain, has it again, over to Iginla. And again, Joe Iginla bidding for the hat trick. It's Iginla now ripping it, trying short side again, and that was stopped and held by Kai Zarowski. Both of these teams excellent on the special teams. Rink Kelowna 25% in the regular season. And off the draw, they go on the attack again. Here's Verhoff to Iginla, playing the point, sideboards. There's a fight off the check, back to Verhoff. Spins over to Gillespie. He's going to walk in and shot. It was deflected. Zarowski stops it. And now it's behind the net. And they push it up against the end boards. 3-on-3 there. Comes out to Kelowna's Iginla. He's knocked down. Now it's back to Gillespie. To the point to Verhoff. To Gillespie. He spins and gives it back to the D-man. Over to Iginla. Into Pantelis in the slot area. Stopped by Zarowski. Here's Iginla with it. Sends it over to Gillespie. He puts it in the slot. That was chipped away. Iginla picks it up. Sends it down low. It is back to the point to Verhoff. 38 seconds to go. Chips it over to Iginla. He walks in. And he carries the wraparound and scores! And there is the hat trick from Joe Iginla. As Kelowna adds to their lead, it's now 6-2. And you can give Iginla 7 goals in the tournament. And that's the first power play goal for Kelowna here. Iginla's got 7 in the tournament, 3 in this game. And his team is up 6-2. Sabres trying to answer that back. There's a battle in behind the net. But the squad from Kelowna will get it out into the neutral zone. Ruptash takes over for St. Albert. But Kelowna sends it in once again. Leonard backpedals as the Sabres bring it out. And Heidecker collides there with Owlin. And the puck playing ping pong in the neutral zone right now. Leonard grabs it and he's going to settle it down in his own end. Goes D-to-D with McCarthy. Puts it off the boards. It's intercepted by Thorpe. Now Lajoie sends it down. McCarthy has it for Kelowna. And now it's Lajoie with it. Or Meunier, rather. It's a back to Carter. He sends it back down to Meunier. He sends it over to the point. Sinclair's shot. Clangs off the glass. And Leonard picks it up for Kelowna. Centering pass for Walker was fired back in by St. Albert, and they weren't across the blue or the red line. So that faceoff is going to come back into the St. Albert zone. We've just played over 3 minutes in this third period. Joe Iginla has added his third goal of the game. A minute and a half into this one. And the Sabres in on it. They're going to get a power play out of this one as the stick was in there for the hook. And we'll see Joe Aginla heading off, getting his name on the score sheet a little bit more. It's the fourth power play for St. Albert. They are excellent, 33.3% in league play. But Kelowna, dynamite on the PK, 96.3. So good head-to-head matchup here. And the Sabres get control off the faceoff. This is Pisani with it. Over to Carter. Back to Pisani. Sends it down into Thorpe. Riley Thorpe has it knocked off his stick, but he gets it back. Back to Pisani. Lajoie, the bumper man. And Thorpe has it now. And they center it. Carter racing down from the point. And Pisani's going to have to race over and cover for him. Now Meunier keeps it in. Lajoie tried to get it to his teammate Thorpe, but that was sent down the ice. And Carter will get back for it for the Sabres. Breakout pass for Pisani. His lead pass is tipped in by Meunier, and then he took a hit for it. Boatwell pokes it past the defender, Weiser, and it's sent out into the neutral zone. Meunier now gives it to Lajoie. Sabres have to get this set up. Just under a minute to go in this man advantage. Puck is in the corner. Verhoff trying to pin it up against the boards. Lajoie is there. Now it's sent all the way around the boards. Weiser won't get to it. And Sinclair and Weiser will have to head back. Weiser will pick it up behind his net. He will stop up, survey things. Long lead pass. Sent out into the neutral zone, and that's going to be a turnover as Kelowna sends it back the other way. Almost 5 minutes gone in this third period. 26 seconds remaining in the power play for St. Albert, but this is Walker who sends it in down low for Kelowna. Puck is sent out and down the ice. Chasing after it for St. Albert is Bisson. Walker gets there for Rink Kelowna. And this is St. Albert's Carter in front. Nice job by Calder-Berry, and lead pass for Aginla out of the box, looking for goal number 4. And what a great play by Fogland to come back and thwart the 4-goal attempt. NHL lineage on NHL lineage. I'm not sure who would have won the battle between Jerome Aginla and Lee Fogland, but it was a good battle there by Sullivan Fogland on Joe Aginla. And Jackson Pisani sends it around the boards. That is kept in there at the blue line. Kelowna, and they score! And that was Cage Smith, I believe, who dangled that one and put it in far side. As the muted celebration from Rink Kelowna, it is now 7-2. Smith, second of the game. And that's his third of the tournament. And we now have a 7-2 lead for Kelowna. Sabres trying to cut into that lead, but it's Rink Kelowna. Smith, lead pass for Salikov in on the breakaway, and he loses control as the puck rolls into the corner. And maybe he almost had too much time because he had a breakaway from basically center ice. Gillespie now sends it towards the net, and Zarowski makes the stop there and holds on. Zarowski has been excellent for St. Albert. Battle, probably a tie right now between him and Meunier. Ty Meunier for the player of the game for St. Albert. Shots are 46-11 in favor of Rink Kelowna. McGinley will take the face-off. And Lajoie waiting for it for St. Albert. Leonard stops that clearing pass. Botel trying to push it into the St. Albert zone. And now Meunier sends it into the Rink Kelowna zone. Heidecker back for it. Thorpe on him. Heidecker knocks him down. Almost the reverse body check there. And now the puck squirts out into the neutral zone. Here's Iginla one-on-one with Carter. Carter loses a step. Iginla comes in and fires high into the netting, bidding for goal number 4. 12:53 to go in this contest. Joe Iginla does a little bit of everything, wins faceoffs, sets it up, can score, has a Hall of Famer to ask questions to. Will be a very high Bantam draft pick. And off the faceoff, Waltz was skating around a little bit. And ended up, the puck ended up where he would have been. And now he picks it off the faceoff to Smith. They chase it after it. Waltz getting down to it first, sends it in front. And Zarowski makes the stop. There's the Michigan try from Smith. And he was thwarted by the post. That is becoming so regular, and I love it. And I also love that Craig Button would love that I call it the Michigan, because he's everything about Michigan, is Mr. TSN. Here is Smith coming back, and we have a whistle in behind the plate as the net is off for St. Albert, so they will set that up. With 12 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in this third period. 5-goal lead for Rink Kelowna. If they do get to 7, we will play straight time. So if you do notice the clock running, Gillespie will take this face-off up against Gavin Fall. And Pantelis gets it for Rink Kelowna. And they send it in off the draw. Gillespie will chase after it. Gets it back to Pantelis. Down low again. Walker loses the puck. And Domsky sends it down. That's going to be icing. That's about the 4th time St. Albert has been called on the icing when they were, all 4 of them. You might be able to measure it a total of 3 feet from the red line. So just the little things adding up to allow this Kelowna team to have a few more advantages as they get set to take this face-off. It'll be Gillespie. And Chapika gets it down to Fadoon. Sent in behind the net. St. Albert rings it around the boards. And it is chipped out into the neutral zone. McCarthy for Kelowna sends it right back up to Fadoon. There's a man heading to the net. And he dishes it off to the sideboards. Chipped back to the point now. And nice little play there as Gillespie chipped it to himself. Chapika coming in to play it into the corner. Is picked up there by Fadoon. Now it's McCarthy with it. Trying to buy himself some room. Sends it down to Gillespie. And the Sabres chip it out into the neutral zone. Opportunity here for Meunier. He's got 2, and he's got 3! As Ty Meunier gets the hat trick, going 5-hole. Did that earlier in the game, and St. Albert not going quietly. It's now 7-3. So that is the third from Meunier. And it's now 7-3. Rink Kelowna still in control, but St. Albert trying to inch a little bit closer. And Ty Meunier now tied for the team lead with Jesse McKinnon at 5 goals and points with 9 in this tournament. St. Albert sends it in. Leonard back for it for Rink Kelowna. Backhands it around the boards. And it is sent out now, and Botel skates it out. Has Waltz going to the net. Spins away. Back to Iginla. And Leonard corrals it. His shot is blocked, and Ruptash will skate away with it. And they stay on side. Lajoie rips that shot. Ruptash sends it back to the point. Sinclair will keep it in. Backhands it. Does a good job because he was on his backhand. On his offside. And not sure what happened with Calderberry behind the play, but he was down as the net was off. .10:15 to go. Third period, 7-3. Kelowna leading the St. Albert Sabres. Bisson will take the draw. He has Allen with him, and Fall will take the draw. He has Bisson and Allen with him. Weiser and Sullivan Foglin on the blue line. Back to Foglin. Shot doesn't get through. Now it's an opportunity for Kelowna. An odd man rush. They've got three coming in. Fadoon in the clear, and he sends it over to the slot area. And that was taken away by St. Albert. Fall couldn't get it out. Now they will skate it out. Bisson chases after it, but Verhoff takes it away. Walker slaps at it. It stays in the zone. And now Verhoff, the captain, is going to go for a skate over the line. They try to get it back to him. Now he sends it towards the net. And behind the net is Smith with it. Back to Pantelis. Pantelis walks the line. Blocker save made by Zarowski. Short side shot. That was blocked. And now it's sent into the corner. Chasing after it is Foglin. Chips it up the boards to Allen. He can't get it out. Joe Aginla almost had an opportunity there. And now it's sent back in to the Rink Kelowna zone. Verhoff, the captain, back for it with some room. Long pass for Salikov. Into Aginla. Has Gillespie with him. Aginla sizing it up. Stops behind the net. Sends it out front. And that was knocked away. Sabres swat at it. McCarthy swats it back down into the zone behind the net. And Gillespie will chase after it. He sends it in behind the net, but that's picked up by Pisani. Quick passing by St. Albert. They get it out, and Domshi sends it cross ice to Chuckery. He chips it in. Will chase after it. Picking it up for Kelowna with Shapitka. And that's intercepted by Ruptash, and he fires it just wide on the blocker side. Gillespie gets it out, collides there with the defenseman. And Ruptash will chase after it, battling against McCarthy in the corner. McCarthy has the puck, and he's able to skate away and send it up the middle. Turned over. There's an opportunity for the fourth goal for Ty Mounier, and the third that has gone 5-hole. Wow. 4-goal performance from Mounier. And St. Albert just down 7-4 now. He loves that 5-hole. When you shoot it that quickly, why not? And it's one of the hardest saves for a goalie to make when you have a quick shot. There's an opportunity for Kelowna, and it's St. Albert that comes back the other way. They're smelling something here. Lajoie poking it in. Now they get it back to the point to Pisani. He takes a slap shot. That is blocked nicely by Walker. Him and Waltz on the forecheck. Force St. Albert into their own zone. Here's an opportunity. In behind. Mounier looking for number 5. And a collision on the boards will send the puck out into the neutral zone. St. Albert will regroup. Chipped in. Lajoie will head off on a change. And Leonard will have it and start it out for Rink Kelowna. Off the boards to Aginla. Salikov pokes it forward. Now it comes to Aginla. Zarowski pokes that one away. And Bisson has it. Centering pass. St. Albert breaks in. Fall had it roll off his stick. Verhoff takes it away and rips it around the boards. Aginla knocked down at the blue line there by Colt Carter, or Riley Sinclair. Sabres showing quite a bit of life here. Here's Fall, 1-on-3, he just sends it towards the net and will hope to get a face-off, and that's exactly what he does. As we have played just under 6 minutes and we have just under 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go in this third period. Wild period so far. 4 goals, 2 from Kelowna, 2 from St. Albert. So off the face-off, Pantelis has it for Rink Kelowna. And they bust in. Gillespie was the intended target for that pass, but it bounced off a skate and right to Zarowski. He holds on for the face-off. 6:21 to go in this game, 7-4. Kelowna in front, but St. Albert has scored the last 2 goals to make this one a little bit closer. Waltz comes in to take the face-off. It is ripped around by St. Albert's Ruptash up to Chuckery, and that was going to be offside. Gillespie has it now, and he turns it over. Ruptash carries it in, battling there with Shapitka. And St. Albert has it in behind, or in the corner. Chuckery behind the net, gets pinned up against the end boards, and that's going to give Kelowna an opportunity to get it out. Waltz in the neutral zone. Sends it rink wide. They were changing, and that one goes into the bench of St. Albert. So the faceoff will come back inside the St. Albert zone. Down by 3. 5:41 to go in the contest. Smith to take the draw against Gavin Fall. And Kelowna wins the draw. They get it back to Verhoff. His long shot deflects into the corner. It's down in behind the net. Iginla chasing after it. Bisson has it for St. Albert now. And now it is sent back. Walker centers it. And that was intercepted by the Sabres, and they flip it out into center ice. Heidecker back for it for Kelowna. Goes D-to-D with the captain. Backhands it up the boards. Smith trying to battle for it. Salikov has it and loses it. Now Salikov, as the St. Albert D-man fell down. Heidecker from the point. Zarowski makes the stop, and now the puck squirts out to the corner. Verhoff with a shot. Blocker saved by Zarowski. It bounces off the boards, and now it's out into the neutral zone, but it's Gillespie. Back to Verhoff for Kelowna. Botel chips it in, and Salikov will chase after it behind the net. It is knocked the other way by the Sabres. Bisson, centering pass, tipped out and went way up in the air. And here's Meunier. Does he have 5 in him? Botel to Gillespie. Turned over. Thorpe back the other way with Lajoie and Meunier. Sends it over to Meunier, and he's going to have to chase after it. Gillespie with him as the two 17s collide in the corner. It is kept in by Thorpe. Sent over to the near boards. Under 5 minutes to play. Lajoie collides with Leonard. Centered. That one was taken away, and St. Albert still hungry. Lajoie can't knock it into the zone, and so they'll have to regroup. Weiser rips it in. They'll tag up, and Lajoie in on the forecheck will get there first. He's knocked down. Picked up by Fadoon, but he has it intercepted, and now they will get it out. Weiser takes over. Foglin gets it out of the zone. A penalty coming up to St. Albert. That's be a charging call. And Lajoie is going to head off and serve this one. 3:35 to go. Rink Kelowna back on the power play. And they have just one goal in 6 chances. This their 7th. And Ginla takes Gillespie takes the draw, and the Ginla rips the shot over the net. And now they get it back to 13. Ginla down low. As they play catch, back to Gillespie, who's playing the left point, to Verhoff. Verhoff to Ginla. Walks in, toe drag, scores! Number 4 for Joe Ginla on the power play. And it's 8-4 Rink Kelowna. It's funny, Ginla and Mounier were just talking in front of us before that, and I wonder if Mounier said, what, you can't get 4? And Ginla goes out and gets his 4th. Now it's 8-4. You might think there's only 2 guys scoring in this game, but lots of others in on the action. As the Sabres come in close now, trailing 8-4. No, but no quitting in this top-ranked team in Alberta. Centered, cleared away, and pinching down low was Molenbeek. That is sent down the ice, icing waved off. Zarowski out to play it, and they score! From the corner, Joe Ginla has 5. Wow. Well, if this was a Oilers or Flames game, somebody would be winning a lot of money right now. 5 goals for Joe Ginla. And it is 9-4. Sabres, Thorpe carries it in. Sends it in behind the net. Mounier, can he get 5 and match Ginla? He's got the chances right now, and he rips the shot short side. Barry makes the stop. And we have just over 2 minutes to play in this contest. 56 shots for Rink Kelowna. At least 5 of them off the stick of Ginla, because he has 5 goals. Lejean takes the draw against Botel. He wins it. It's it back to Pisani, to Thorpe. And that one is taken away. Back comes Walker, over to Smith. They were looking for Botel. Verhoff loses an edge, and Mounier was almost off to the races. Sent in, Zarowski can't stop it. Smith with it along the boards. Heidecker walking in, shot tipped, and they score. I believe that was Smith that tipped that one in, just like he did for the game's very first goal. And Smith has a hat trick as Kelowna puts up their 10th. So we were now under a minute and a half to play. 10-4 is the score. Rink Kelowna on their way to winning the A Championship consolation game number 1. And they have to think of what might have been had they not lost to Airdrie yesterday, 4-3. Airdrie upsetting NAX today. And so that could have been Rink Kelowna. They'll have to be satisfied with what happens here. Now they're going to be short-handed. The Sabres will get a chance to tack some on, and maybe this will be Meunier's opportunity to get goal number 5. The pass was intended for Sinclair, picked off by Waltz. And that is Molenbeek who tries to get it out for St. Albert. McCarthy holds the red line. Nice job there by the D-man, and now he sends it into the corner. Sinclair back for it. 1 minute to play in this third period. Sabres, unless they score, will finish this game on the power play. And there's Bisson as it rolls towards the net. 46.8 seconds to go. Sabres looking for their first power play goal here. And off the face-off, Rink Kelowna rings it around the boards. That's going to get all the way down, and Iginla's going to chase after it. He gets there first, pokes it in behind the boards, and then will get back. Ruptash couldn't control that one, and McCarthy will rifle it down. That's knocked down with a high stick. Gillespie's going to get there first, so it won't be called. Out to Iginla in the slot. That shot was deflected and didn't get all the way to the net. 23 seconds to go in the contest. Sabres bust in, break in for one more rush. Allen shot, and Barry gets a piece of that. Kept in by Foglin. Now it comes out to the center ice. Weiser back in as we have 5 seconds to play. Ruptash will just rifle this one on net. Barry makes the stop, and time runs out as Rink Kelowna holds on for the 10-4 victory. And St. Albert made a little bit of push in that third period, but ultimately Joe Iginla, Cade Smith and company, a little too much to handle. Ty Meunier, 4 goals, Iginla 5. Incredible. Or Iginla, yeah. So there we go. They will shake hands, award the player of the game, and we will be back with you at 8:15, where we will have the battle of the Okotoks Oilers and the Calgary Bisons. Thank you very much for joining us for this A Championship consolation game.